Hi, I'm back. Well, yesterday somebody got on my YouTube page and I had uploaded some of my content, and they said, can you please talk about what you're saying? We read it, but we want to hear you talk. And I'm like, this is really hard for me to talk now. It's really challenging for me to share this way. It's easier for me to write stuff than to talk about it. But I said, okay, I'll try to do short videos to talk, but we'll see. I don't know how it's going to go. But this particular series, I want to do situationships because I feel like when I'm sharing my life story, it's like I've never been married, and don't have kids. So some people be like, thinking that I don't have life experience. I have a plethora of life experience and dating experience. So that's why I be saying things about your emotional health, your mental health. It's really important because you get with these folks and you not right, they not right. Everybody is jacked up mentally and emotionally, and y'all trying to either fix each other or y'all just simply neglecting the obvious. And then you bring children into the situation, which makes it even worse. So for me, I decided to not have kids until I was married to the man that God had for me, because I tried to do it on my own and I didn't like the results. So I'm going to share little stories about, my dating experiences. Some of this stuff I ain't never said to nobody, probably like my close friends, but that's it, But just a disclaimer, when I was 16 years old, and I felt the Holy Spirit, and God spoke to me and told me he had my husband that he didn't want me to date. But I'm going to be 100. At 16, I wasn't trying to hear that. So I went out and dated. I had my prodigal season and, so on and so forth. But I still believe God has my husband, even though I was out here, being rebellious. I was, God gave me grace for that season. But this one story I want to share is, it's called The Widow. And I met a guy at a job I was at, contracting. And I can say that his approach was, whatever. He was standing behind me, and I turned around and he said something slick to me, and we exchanged numbers. Well, actually, no, it was around Christmas time, so I wrote my number in a Christmas card and gave it to him. That's when I was very tenacious. I haven't been that tenacious these days. And he called and we talked. Well, we talked for a while. He was a great guy. Still on my celibacy journey, my sex sabbatical. I had a little slide with him after, and I'm going backwards. I think this is the last guy that a few years ago that I dated. I'm going backwards, like I'm starting from the end to the beginning. But it wasn't an all the way slip. It was a little slip. So I didn't have to start over. Your celibacy journey it's a journey. So you may have a slip or fall, dust yourself off, get back up. I had a slip, and it wasn't intercourse, but it was a slip, and I didn't even, whatever. And I'm glad I didn't go all the way because the situation had panned out. So anyway, I knew that he had a deceased wife, and he kept asking, could we be serious? Could we go together? And I was like, nah, I'm good on that. I just like being friends. So then the Holy Spirit asked me to ask him how his wife died. And I was like, nah, he didn't want to talk about it. I ain't tripping. We don't go together, so, he ain't offered information, so I'm good. So he kept pressing me like, how his wife died, and he never told me, so I ain't never asked. So one day I was like, dude, what happened to your wife? And he was like, oh, she was murdered, got shot in the head coming from work. I said, you don't think that information was pertinent to me? Like, you don't think that you should have told me that your wife was killed? Because it feels like you were limiting information because, you know, you didn't ever tell me the woman's name, nothing. Like, you didn't want me to Google or research. And it kind of makes me think you had something to do with it. Like, were you a suspect? What happened? Did they catch the killer? Are you the killer? Are you going to kill me? So, you know, I've learned so many lessons in dating. Like, even though I wasn't supposed to be dating because I'm saved and I ain't supposed to be out here in these streets, but I learned lessons. I learned personalities. I learned, you know, more about men. I learned to pay attention, to ask questions. You are entitled to ask any question you want. That's what dating is for. It's called collecting data. If they sit up there, they don't want to answer no questions, then they hiding something. I asked the guy, I'm going to tell you that story next. No, I ain't going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that story later. But when you asking questions, folks divorced, folks got kids, and they don't want to, what are we dating for? You trying to have sex? Okay, well, we ain't got a date to have sex now. We can just do that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's my little story about the widower. And I still to this day don't know if he killed his wife. But anyway, till next time.